set off on my journey, I had to hold on underneath the truck that was traveling to Surtu, Libya. I had crossed the borders of Ghana, Burkina Faso and Niger to finally arrive on the shores of the Mediterranean coast. Inside the truck, the people were jam-packed. There were those who were on top holding onto the roof, and those who had found space in between the wheels. For me, being among the youngest, there was only a space underneath. In Sabah, the truck turned onto the highway. Until then, it had always traveled slowly, but on the highway it started to speed up. The road was full of potholes, and there was a strong wind. I was at my limit. It was impossible to continue holding on in that position. I couldn't feel my hands and my arms anymore. A thought crept into my mind. I let go and died. Then, as I was thinking that it was all over, the truck started to slow down and it stopped. I was completely exhausted. I fell to the ground and lost my senses. The last thing I remember was the sound of the wind. When I woke, there was a woman in front of me. She was looking at me, asking me questions. I didn't understand her language, but from the sound of her voice I thought she must be kind. My head was hurting, so I turned to look around. I was shocked. There were hundreds, thousands of people like me, in a line, awaiting their turn. Men, women, children, all desperate, all alike. During our travels, we had not only lost our few and poorly things, we had lost our history and our identity. I was Cyril Kaburu no more. Now we were only a series of numbers. Anonymous. The doctors were worried about my conditions, and so they decided to keep me inside the hospital. It was my good fortune. At least I wasn't going to be sent straight back to my country. But I knew that sooner or later it was what was going to happen to me too, whether I was back in health or not. I will never go back to my village. The war frightens me more than that itself. So, along with 3 others of my same age, we decided to escape. We hid in some coffins that were to be sent away. We stayed closed inside for 2 whole days without drinking or eating before we were finally moved on. We got out as soon as possible. Then we looked at each other. We didn't know where we were, but for the very first time, I felt free. I set to it. I learned the language and found a job. I broke my back working 18 to 20 hours shifts, and when it finally came to being paid, the master would always find an excuse to argue, threatening to call the police. As a clandestine, I had no rights. I was insulted, humiliated, beaten, and tortured. Cruelty pushed me to flee from my country, and now cruelty was making me live as a reject. I am 20, and I live in fear. I am afraid of the future. My homeland refused me. The land of my dreams has done the same. I see indifference and ignorance. I see racists who send me away as if I was a disease to avoid. I see mothers who do not consider me as a boy, as a son. Why? Why do they judge me with such superficiality? Why do they hate me? The sea. I had never seen it before, and it took everything from me. My desires, my ambitions. I didn't want to wander from country to country. I hoped I would be an engineer one day. Have a role. Have a place. I would dream about meeting beautiful girls, finding a loved one, and creating a family of my own. I owe it to my older sister. It was her who held me up when the boat turned over. I can swim, but she kept me above water for as long as she was able to.